Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Asshole Consulting. Gonna bang this one out. The work never ends. Better than the Great Recession when there was no work. I remember that, guys? Yeah, too young. Some of the older millennials do remember it, though. Hi, Captain. I've been really enjoying your great content lately. I have a video request for you. I don't mind if you use my first name. I've been dating a woman for about 4 months. She informed me that she is a feminist shortly after we dated. Not the crazy screaming, in-your-face type of feminist like Pig Red, but a traditional type of feminist whose core beliefs are women deserving equal rights, equal pay, etc. But you're not going to find anyone alive. Well, okay, there's 320 million Americans. You're not going to find anyone, quote unquote, that's going to be against the equal treatment of women. You're just not. And so by that very, I would say, outdated version or ideal version of feminist, yes, everyone's a feminist. But the practical, functional, effective version of feminism that is being implemented is much different. Much different. I think most of us in the red pill community agree with traditional feminism in the sense that women deserve equal rights and equal pay. Yeah, well, you don't even call it traditional feminism. You could just call it human rights. You could just call it fairness. You could just call it meritocracy. You're not going to, and you will, the vast majority. You will find some genuine misogynist MGTOWs, some old school traditionalists who are against that. There's some genuine women haters out there, no doubt. But I'd say yes, within the lion's share of the red pill community, you're not going to find guys that are like, like they may joke about barefoot and pregnant, but they're not like, no, it's your choice, you do what you want. And, yes, equal work, equal pay. Matter of fact, in all the people I've ran into, you wouldn't find one that was ever about treating women poorly or unfairly or unequally. But as we know, the ideology of feminism has been pushed far past those traditional beliefs and values. Yes, correct. I showed her a couple of your videos regarding feminism and she was slightly offended. Slightly? That's it? But unaware that such extreme versions of feminism ever existed. Oh, I see. I was about to say, I'm not actually that extreme. She was unaware that affirmative action, oh God, what is it? What was it? Wasn't there a gal that wanted, there was a teacher in Spain that wanted to castrate boys. Again, not all, that is not your average woman, but yeah, there's some pretty extreme shit out there coming from feminism. But was unaware that such extreme versions of feminism even existed. I told her I consider myself to be a red pill type of guy and enjoy watching channels such as yours, Terrence Popp, and Rich Cooper. She did her own research on the red pill philosophy because she wanted to understand me better and learn more about me. Dude, that's not only great because she seems to like you, but that's intellectual honesty. That's truly open-mindedness. That, I know she may call herself a feminist, and maybe on some level through some philosophy she is, but really more importantly, that action, that behavior indicates true independent thinking, critical thinking skills, not the shit they say that you have in college just because you paid them tuition money, and she likes you. That's pretty intellectually honest. That's a rare thing. I think the information she found involved a lot of misleading information that the red pill is a cult-like hate group. Well, yeah, you're gonna find that out there. You know what? It's like reading what the media wrote about a book instead of reading the book itself. I'm sure she went to Wikipedia or I'm sure The Guardian or New York Times have some kind of article about MGTOWs or red pill instead of actually going to the red pill channels or reading what these people wrote. I'm sure that's what happened. It's like reading what people think about Christianity but not reading the Bible. Misleading information, red pill cult like hate groups. She shared with me an interesting video I'd like to get your opinion on. Please bill me the extra 25 minutes of your time it takes to watch the video. Like to know, blah, blah, blah. I know you're a red pill guy who values life, love, experiences over careers and money and politics. I also share these same beliefs and views with you. If you could explain in my video response what being a red pill man means to you, when does red pill become potentially dangerous? If ever, is there a way to maintain a red pill lifestyle and belief system and be in a long-term relationship with a girl who's predominantly liberal and has traditional feminist value? Oh, that's a tough one. Then you want me to, please let me know if you got any follow-up question. All right, we'll answer your questions. I'll go through the video. Could you explain in my video response what being a red pill man means to you? All right, a red pill, it is what the red pill, the metaphor comes from the Matrix. What is truth? What is reality? As you know, here at Asshole Consulting, we don't beat around the bush because we don't have time. That's why my consulting fees are very, very low compared to some dipshit therapist that's going to lie to you to spare your fees over 10 years. Okay? It's about reality. It's about truth. The first book I wrote had nothing to do with women or men or dating. It had to do with the housing market. And it's exercising not only critical thinking and having the bravery and courage to like look at your stats and have, conviction in your thought process and your independent thinking, but to commit to the truth. What is reality? Not what we like reality to be. That's the number one luxury consumption good that we have in America right now. Lies. What feels good? Oh yeah, you can have a degree in sociology and make a living. Fuck you. All right? That destroys countries and societies in the long run. What the red pill is what is real. Now, the reason it takes such a predisposition or a focus or an onus on women is because that's the number one thing in men's life. Men want women, if you did not know. And so if you look at what the lion's share of men's resources and money and effort and interest are in, it's women because, well, frankly, I don't know what else there is. I mean, that's what you're designed for. I don't know if you saw the human anatomy and how it works, but that's where I could see such a focus and an onus on women would then make it seem like you're misogynist and anti-women. But because of your genetic or vested or biological interest in women, and I would also say throwing in there society's huge incentives to lie to women to tell them what they want to hear, be it fashion industry, Democrat Party, big educator. Run this past your feminist girlfriend. Maybe she didn't get fucked over. Who fucked over the majority of women with worthless degrees? Okay, we'll show where the red pill, where truth seeking, which is all the red pill is, helps women. Closing the wage gap, all right? Has bitching and whining about sexism and discrimination and patriarchy, has that, one, solved the problem? And then two, has it accurately diagnosed why there's a wage gap? Right? Me, I advocate women major in the same thing I advocate men major in because it pays. STEM, trades, engineering, accounting, medicine, right? And I don't say that to hurt the fifis of the women's, all right? I say it to say, hey, I want you to do better. Stop majoring in stupid shit. Hey, if you'd like to get married, which is a good question nowadays. Do women really want to get operating from that premise? Well, there's a man involved, and we'd like you. We have some requirements too. That you're kind of physically attractive. Patriarchy, sexism, discrimination. You're shallow. And you have to introduce these hard questions, these harsh realities. Like, look, you're not going to make money as a poetry major, and you're not going to get a good-looking guy if you're fat. Now, harsh as that may be, it's more loving and caring because it's based in reality. It's true. And so that's why I think the red pill is such a harsh pill to swallow for a lot of women, is because the rest of society wants to make money off of women. Professors make I'd estimate around $300 billion off of women and their worthless degrees. They also make some money off of men too, not just women majoring in stupid shit, but the numbers I pulled recently. You have corporateers, the careerists, like, oh yeah, your number one thing in life is your career. Are you fucking nuts? Paying taxes? Working, commuting, sitting at a fucking cube so you could be assistant reserve, vice deputy president of marketing? It's your fucking kids. It's your fucking husband. It's your fucking family. That's the number one thing in life as human being. Oh, no, we need, why do corporations do? Well, that's cheaper labor. You double the labor supply. That's cheaper labor. You get more people competing for the same number. Also, now that women are paid a salary, what the government allows them to have after taxes. Women spend that on shoes and fashion and all manner of things, so that increases the top line of corporate America. And the Democrats saying, oh, you're a victim, that's old hat as all hell. You're a victim, you're oppressed, you're discriminated against. We'll make it all better by going after those mean, nasty, patriarchal wage gap. Give us your vote, you put them in power. In the long run, though, what ends up happening is women throw a ton of money into education, a ton of time into their career, a ton of money into materialism, frankly, a ton of money into paying other people to raise their kids because they just got to work that career. And at the end, what are they? They've just been used as either labor and a source of income for taxes or corporate sales. And they really are hoodwinked. And you may disagree. You may say, I don't believe that, Aaron, and here's that's cool. But don't say the aim here is it for me to try to improve the plot of women and men in general if we adhere to the truth. And what I found is most people, not just women, they don't want to hear the truth. They don't. This is why Operation Evil goes into effect when I'm done with this next book. And instead of writing a harsh book about truth or reality, here's 2 books. Here's some red pill books, worthless. Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major, ostensibly to prevent you from majoring in dumb shit and have a good life. Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. Get black men out of poverty. I don't know what the moral problem is with that. I really don't. And if they're going to judge it because of what's said in those books, because they're harsh and on what they want to hear, instead of what the goal and the intention is, well, there's no real reason to argue and debate. And so what... your, I don't want to say girlfriend, but the girl you're courting or dating, your female friend there, I behoove her if she's watching this, look at the aims and ask yourself critically, what is going to improve the plight of anybody? Touchy feel-good bullshit or harsh realities and truth? And so that's why I think the red pill is. And then when we look at what the red men are using the red pill for, it's what they've always used anything for, and that is to get the women's, to get the girls. And so they approach women in a very logical and empirical manner. What rules can we learn? And here I can see where women would take some offense and umbrage, where you're really viewed as a test subject, not a human being, women, and we have to make assumptions. We have to make broad generalizations because we're not talking about this individual girl out of the 3.5 billion women on the planet. Women in general, strategies, tactics, recommendations, and harsh on top of it, no. Here's a harsh truth no guy likes. You have a lifetime part-time job that you never asked for called hitting the gym. That's it. You have to hit the gym. That's your life. That is your mandatory. If you want to make girls happy, you have to be physically attractive to them too. You have to hit the gym. How many men actually do? No, women like us because I'm sensitive and I agree with what they say. But again, you'll find in the red pill community, here's another example. Men are honest in the red pill about what women want. And you see this in some that does not exist in feminism. Not at all. There is a huge component of the red pill philosophy community, whatever, is self-improvement. How to get a job, how to make money, how to work out, diet. It is a huge, if not I'd say a core principle to the red pill philosophy or community, where it's self-improvement. Why do guys want to self-improve? To get the girls. Feminism has none of that. Because it asks, the red pill community at least considers, what do women want? Oh, we've studied women, and according to our clipboard with our lab coats, we found out they like men with muscles. Shit, I can't study chemistry anymore, I have to hit the gym. We at least make the attempt to consider what the opposite sex wants. Feminism, none of that. Men are shallow, they're dirty, they're rotten, they're bigotry or bigoted for liking thin women. The feminists will even go so far as to not only selfishly ignore what men want and insult them and saying they're shallow and also sexist, whatever. They go to the extent to explain away reality. Big is beautiful. If I got to see another plus-size model in lingerie, Although me and the guys have been kind of going back and forth. Hey, how about this? Jesus Christ. You don't have that in the red pill. You have nowhere near that intellectual dishonesty. It may be rough, it may be locker room talk, but we're honest. And the feminist counterpart has none of that. None of that. It is big is beautiful, body positivity, and if you don't believe it, you're sexist, shallow, whatever. We don't have. Now, maybe she hasn't been exposed to those more extreme elements, but we certainly have. They're out there. So that's what being red pill is. It's just like, what is real? What is reality? Neo took, I don't want, and Neo, if she hasn't seen the movie, it's like, hey, I'm in this great late 90s booming economy digital world, and then he goes into, what is hell? He's like, I'll take the red pill. Oh, this sucks. This is horrible, but at least it's real. And so that's me. Now, she could get 1,000 different opinions from 1,000 different guys, but I think most men will generally agree. Yes, if she goes to some of the darker corners, she's going to find some genuine woman-hating men out there. But that is, I would say, is empiricism, is what it means to be a red pill man, a red pill person. When does being red pill become potentially dangerous? I don't think the consumption of truth can become that dangerous, but it's how you interact with the rest of the world that's quote-unquote blue pill or just doesn't want it. You really strain social relationships, romantic relationships. It's more upon you. There's psychological toll you're going to take where it's like, God, am I the only fucking one that gets this? And it's not like, oh, you're wrong. No, what's worse is you're right. There are instances where the world is wrong. Again, where my first book was about the housing bubble, that I had written it before the crash occurred. I was the only one. I mean, there were others, Peter Schiff and some other people. But it's lonely out. Society can be wrong. And so that's a taxing thing, especially if it becomes a religion to you, like I guess any religion, where like all you do is obsess about it. Dude, there's enough bad news out there, and there's enough fucking sheep out there. That's why I wrote the book Enjoy the Decline, because you can't listen to CNN all the time about hating Trump. If you're a leftist, it'll just make you miserable, and it does. You can't listen to Fox News all the time about how America's going to hell in a handbasket. You can't, no matter how true these things may be. You can't stare into the abyss without, the abyss staring back and causing some kind of damage. So there is some dangerous stuff. And then where I've talked about this before with how people don't abuse MGTOW or something. This is long ago, where it becomes a religion, where men they're no longer meritocratic. They actually do become bigoted. They actually do become misogynist, and it's all women, and they don't want nothing, and they fuck women. And I talked about that with, I think a video is called, maybe the article is Abusing MGTOW, where instead of being fair with every individual, male or female, they do prejudge. They've never tried to date a girl. They've never given any girls a shot. It's, oh, you got a vagina, get the fuck out of here. And they use that as a defense mechanism or an excuse so they don't have to try. At their core, they're lazy. They don't want to go and risk getting shot down. They don't want to go to the gym. They don't want to become what women want to become, or want them to become, or want, romantically, sexually speaking. And so women just want fucking alphas and Chad. And you've seen that, and I'm sure that's what a lot of this, the media or whatever she's seen highlighted, the incels, the Elliot Rodgers that go and shoot up places like that. But if she were to watch Rollo, have her read Rational Mail if she's got time, but if she were to watch Rollo Tomasi, Rich Cooper, my channel, Terrence Pop is getting revenge on his ex-wife. So I don't know if that's the best. Stefan Mullen, who I think would be a little bit more reasoned and less sensationalism, less entertainment. But, I guess my channel would be a little rough around the edges. But I think if she wanted to see what some of the core pillars and philosophers within the red pill community are, I would start with that. That's where I would start. I would not let the media, which is biased to the left, by the way, and they have every incentive to make it look like it's a bunch of man haters or woman haters, because that sells more clicks. All right, don't Don't read what people wrote about Christians. Read the Bible. It's kind of what I'm saying. Is there a way to maintain a red pill lifestyle and belief system in a long-term relationship with a girl who's predominantly liberal and has traditional feminist value? I will say yes, but only this one thing. If she maintains intellectual honesty. As long as she maintains that, what is going to happen, because I don't see it happening any other, if she is intellectually honest, if she's always seeking the truth, she will go and look up the budget. And I've talked about this before. You want to make it fun? Do the betting tactic. Say, I bet you're wrong about this economic thing or that political thing, but it has to be provable, which is kind of hard. That's why you rely on economics. And I bet you in a French-made lingerie outfit serving me dinner, you're wrong. And then you make your point in a fun, flirtatious way. But if she's already willing to listen to the other side and is displaying, she did that for you, that is so rare, man. That is intellectual honesty. And so if she adheres to that, she's going to end up becoming at least a libertarian. Not to say there's a concrete, finite, absolute answer to politics or some esoteric, but yeah, it's called freedom. It's called capitalism. It's called low taxes. It's called the individual. It's called libertarianism. Maybe she becomes conservative. I don't know. It's up to you guys if you want to ban pot and rock and roll. Although that's kind of a boomer thing. But even if she were to remain liberal, and this is a very big if, some people believe that they have an obligation to society to help out the poor. It's more Christian or religious. But they're honest about it. But then they will also donate their money. They won't just go and say, oh, the rich got to pay their fair share so I can feel good about myself for voting. It's like, well, if she donates time to kids with cancer, then she's putting her money or her time where her mouth is. If she's just like, the rich don't pay their fair share, and I want to fight the things for the environment and the reasons and the good feely things to save the turtles, okay, then that's a vile, disgusting person, which I don't think she's going to be. But over time, and dude, you can. Go on the internet, look up the federal budget. You'd be shocked how many people. No, here's a great starting point. Define fair share. Right now, I bet you she doesn't know. I bet you don't know what percent of the economy the government takes every year. What percent of our production the government takes? It's 38%. And how do you know? I'm an economist. Look it up. Trust me. Right? Without that vital key bit of information, I don't know why anyone's having a conversation about what's the fair share, because you don't even know what's being paid for right now. What you'd be appalled by is how few people even know what the difference between a million and a trillion and a billion is. And yet here they are going to talk about economics and policy and bullshit. But as long as she has the principle to be honest and to find truth and intellectual honesty, she could be a Marxist right now. Over the long haul, she's at least going to be an honest person. And that's better than the biggest conservative thought pro-capitalist who's just doing it for the money. But in her private life and her private interactions with people, she stabs people in the back and takes advantage of them. And there's no conservative thoughts like that, none whatsoever. And the traditional feminist values, I hate to even call it because feminist has become such a bad word now because of the new feminists. I think what you're talking about is just human rights, equal treatment, meritocracy. Those are the more descriptive words you're looking for. Please like and follow up, and I'll keep you anonymous. Let's turn up the volume. And let's click on this guy. Free dating consultation. Pinnacle of Man. I don't know who's this guy. Let's watch this guy. Red pill. Everything wrong with red pill. Exposed. Oh, he got you guys. He exposed it. This is Pinnacle of Man. Let's play this.
Above all, don't lie to yourself. The man who lies to himself and listens to his own lies comes to a point that he cannot distinguish the truth within him or around him, and so loses all respect for himself and for others. And having no respect, he ceases to love.
What the fuck is that? Alright, already got creepy vibes. Not in a creepy... No, he's creepy. It's just like...
Click away from this video if you consider yourself deep into the red pill.
Okay, he's, I don't know, he's kind of a cool guy. He's got a surfboard and some skis. Good looking dude, he's in shape. And he's very serious. All right, I'll stop picking on the aesthetics. Let's just go through.
You because there is no logic, reason, or anything I can do to convince you to really change your mind.
And this is funny. What did I just say about the red pill? How I approached it. You know, whether he did his research based on what other people said about the red pill, but I said mine was empiricism. Mine was truth and reality, harsh truth. And now telling me if you can't handle reality, just turn around. It's like, well, no, we'll watch anyway.
However, if you've been introduced to the red pill and like some things about it, but there's another aspect where there seems to be bitterness, hatred, and a lack of love. And I'm not talking fairy tale love. I'm talking about lasting, true love with a woman that you desire, that you want to build a life with connection.
Okay, hang on. Is he a dating coach? Pinnacle of Man. Schedule a call with me to create custom-tailored strategy. Oh, is this a pickup artist? Oh. Josh Hudson coaching. I won't lie. I'm going to just assume he's... Because the red pill has got some... You know, you could search it. It's out there. And it's a target-rich environment for his services. I'm wondering if he's just doing that about our mission. We seek to mold men into their best selves by spreading awareness and accepting the fundamental truths of reality. Well, that would be the red pill. We seek to teach men how to achieve excellence and fully enjoy life by living honestly and authentically. We do this by confronting our fears on a daily basis. To what do we do? Pinnacle of Man as a coaching is about teaching you how to reach your full potential in every area of your life. You will learn how to successfully become the best person possible. Self-improvement, I don't know why he's not part of the red pill. Maybe he got bad information. Maybe he's just been exposed to some of the more extreme elements. I don't know. Including dating, fitness, relationships, spirituality, and overall happiness. Website, who are we? Schedule an appointment. He's a guy, good looking. He grew up as an introvert, shy, low confidence, but about a boo. Pinning favors on his hands, life mission, more self-confident. Yeah, accomplishments. Double bachelor's in psychology and organizational communication. If you got a master's degree in marriage and family therapy. Okay, those aren't real degrees. Terribly sorry. And I don't blame him for trying to make some money. Men are a hugely underserved market. I'm glad he's doing it. Author of Social Savant. Learn the secrets and dynamics of female psychology to attract women and transform into your action. Good Lord, that's a long title. Let's find out. Hopefully, maybe he's selling a lot of books. 15 reviews. Social Savant. Did it come out recently? This is Kindle. Kindle only? 113 pages. I would imagine female psychology and social dynamics is a little bit more than 113 pages. When was it published? This is... Okay. I won't lie. He hasn't made that much money on that book. All right. That's him. Let's continue on.
This video may be for you because this video is not for views. It's not for popularity. I don't care how many views it gets. I don't care how many people watch it. If just one person is on the fence of red pill and is considering the negative effects that it may have on him, that and adopting this new world view and believing that women are this type of way that just doesn't make sense, that you're listening to your inner voice in your heart saying that that's not the truth and you know it, but you're not sure what is, then by the end of this video, I'm going to convince you.
How long is it? Oh, Jesus, 24 minutes?
Red pill is not the right way to go. It has good intentions, but it goes about it the wrong way. This video is also not about men's issues like rape culture, suicide, the level of depression in men, what's happening to men in divorce courts. I agree, actually, with Red Pill, with all of that. That when it comes to men's rights, that we're not treated as equals, that there's a lot of things.
I'm wondering where it's going. Maybe he's got a point. We'll
that
listen.
We kind of brush under the rug.
24 minutes.
I'll link a video down below from Fox News he goes over all those different statistics, and there's plenty of information out there. This video is specifically designed to talk about Red Pill in the context of dating and relationships. Something I have years of expertise working with hundreds of clients, women and men alike. The reason you're not watching and everything right with Red Pill and everything right with these different companies is because I'm not here to make videos to create a mental masturbation.
Come on! All right, I'm going to skip it.
A 20-hour video on Red Pill. No joke. And This is probably the longest time I've ever built and took to make a script.
I apologize, but I'm going to try and skip ahead to where he gets to his point, if that's all right with you.
Okay, women don't care about you. Women don't care about us, guys. That's the way it is.
Hypergamy is the idea in Red Pill that a woman will fall to her basic biological desires and naturally trade up for a higher value man based on the sexual market value proposed by Rollo Tomassi. Now, you may be asking yourself, does hypergamy exist? And the answer is yes, of course it exists. There are women out there that trade up to guys, but it's so nuanced and it's not representative of the studies they pick it from. And that's something you're going to find consistent throughout this video. And if you really dive into the Red Pill, that not everything you look at is completely consistent. And where they get their data is not a representation of the actual population.
I hope he has some alternative data, because I'm like, all right, I'm all about the data.
One of the things the Red Pill lacks is nuance in understanding human behavior. It puts things into a black and white category, an in or out, a good or a bad. And honestly, life's spectrum, right? You're not alpha or beta. There's times in your life where you've been alpha, and there are times in your life where you've been beta. And you can, based off the evolutionary studies, you can change and adapt and always do that. And so to say simply that these percentage of men always get these women, and these women always get those men, it's not so simple, right? There's so much variation in terms of what actually women go after, what men go after, and deep subconscious drives underneath basic surface sexual market value that causes us to be attracted towards a certain
I just wish he'd show. Okay, never mind.
person. Now, if you're in Red Pill long enough, you'll see the basic understanding that Red Pill people believe, people.
Now we have an ad.
In the Red Pill philosophy believe that women inherently lack control over their basic biological impulses.
It's what hypergamy.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I disagree with it. People don't control their biological impulses. You're influenced by them. Yeah, I'm waiting for the truth bomb to drop here. Like, oh my God, he's right.
He is. That's how it's designed to work.
I don't know who this guy is. He's not to sound. I know pretty much all the main pillars and the main guys of the Red Pill community. I don't know who this guy is.
Women don't actually care about you. They care about their own needs being met. They care about their own survival.
You become bitter with a false sense of reality that you developed about human nature behind a false sense of self. You see, people are a mirror. They reflect back about how you feel about yourself, about how you feel about them. That if you believe that women will be able to control their impulses, what's going to happen is that when you get into a relationship with a woman, you're going to do, think, and say things to make that automatically come true all the time. The power of your mind is immense, and the world.
I'm lost. I don't even know what he's saying anymore. Okay, come on, stick with it. Stick with it.
People and about what you accept in your life is confirmed over and over again, stemming from this false sense of what really happened with your original wound, which we will jump into more in depth. Let me ask you a question. I'm going to give you a scenario. Let's say you're with a girl, and you've been with her for about a year, and she starts to become naggy and bitchy, and she starts to get overweight.
A year? That could give a whole year?
And then you go out with some friends one night, and this gorgeous woman comes up to you, and you guys are flirting, you're connecting, she wants you, she's hot, way harder than your girlfriend. Would you go home and sleep with her?
Hell yeah!
Would you cheat on your girlfriend? If the answer is yeah, in a heartbeat you would, then that's the hypocrisy that you're creating. That if you're willing to do that, then of course you believe she would too on you. But if you said, no, of course I wouldn't, I have better morals, I have better judgment than that, then why do you think a woman honestly lacks impulse control more than a man? You see,
right.
You're seeing human nature and people between men and women so different.
But he's telling about a spectrum of people that, not everyone's gonna. Some people can't do. Some people do. Some can control their. Some can't. I'm not. He's not saying anything wrong necessarily. I'm just trying to figure out how this debunks it. And he's using one guy who I've never seen before, saying something I don't necessarily agree with. Say, oh, this is the red pill.
We have more in common than we do differences. Philosophers like Plato, Socrates, Friedrich Nietzsche, they all cover the basis of morality. Basically, stopping us from our biological basic urges. Freud talks about this as well as the id and the ego, and the ability to stop and think about the future, about how these actions are going to affect you, and to have more reciprocity and altruism in your life. It's not easy to do, but it's what adults do. It's what someone past the adolescent stage of development does. And I would argue, having spoken to hundreds of red pill people, that there's an original source of pain.
Hundreds. I doubt. I could ask Rich and the guys. Rich and the gang. Cool in the gang. I say, you know who this guy is? No. No.
Pain, either in early childhood or in adolescence with the early girlfriend, that stunted their growth about relationships and what actually is solid.
Maybe they're Dr. Terrence Pop. It may be maybe divorce. It might be that. See, I'd go with him if it was bad early on or something like that, and you never lifted weights, you never hit the gym, you never considered what women wanted, and you preemptively, like this is common in the MGTOW community, where you use that as an excuse not to try. He's right there. But at the same time, I've dated a lot of girls. I'm going to have more faith in guys' individual experiences because that's what they experience. What else are they supposed to draw from? I mean, what he's saying is logically true, philosophically true, no doubt about that, but is that what empirically happens in the real world? And if you date enough girls, you're going to find out it's at best 50-50. At best. Maybe I'm just an impatient individual. I'm waiting for the big shocker still.
Relationship is. And then over years and decades of not going toward that pain, what happens is that they develop a worldview where you combine yourself with other people who have the same worldview with confirmation bias. And you think that's reality because you cease seeking information that's outside of reality.
This is true. This is, again, you see that within the Virgin Tao, as I like to call them, community. You have to worry about confirmation bias. But at the same time, you're at least comparing data. You're at least getting some philosophy and theories that do explain the phenomenon you're seeing. And I know it's really easy to say, oh, all women suck. I'm not talking about that. Which, once again, to talk to your female friend there, this is why men go to the gym. Or at least there's a huge self-improvement part to the red pill community. Because they are empiricists. They do want to know the truth. They are willing to accept harsh truths. I don't know what red pill community is talking about. I mean, there's certainly those type of guys in it, but this is not the experience I have had.
Outside of truth, doing deep psychological work, looking at deep emotions as to why what really happened to you, why it really happened. That maybe it wasn't female nature, maybe it was something in your control. Maybe it was the way you were feeling that caused.
No. Here's what I'm going to explain to this, and this is pretty much every guy's average experience. The rule of 50-50-25. 50% no times 50% show equals 25% go. In reality, it was more 30-70-21, where 70% of the women would say yes to a date, and then 70% of the women would flake on that date. Now, that has, depending on who and your game and all that, that's more or less industry. The majority of women flaked on dates and stood men up. That's not a outcome of the man. It's not because the mentality, it's not you asked the girl out. The girl said yes to a date. She flaked on you, and when that becomes the norm, you don't have a choice but to have somewhat of a negative or somewhat suspecting opinion about the probability a girl's going to go on a date with you. Then when through the internet you combine and compare notes, you realize, oh, I'm not the only, I thought it was me. I thought I was ugly or this or that, and turns out, no, that's common. I understand, selection bias. I understand, the problems in getting accurate statistics and laboratory conditions and, anecdotal versus actual evidence. But you have to allow the court to entertain some people's anecdotal experiences. That's where you start with forming your theories, and you go on and actually compile the real data. And maybe the red pill could use a little bit more data and research, under official laboratory conditions. But right now, there has been improvement. There's a body of work, and I'd say it's valid. Yes, there's selection bias. Yes, there's people who are going to use it as an excuse to protect their fifis. Absolutely, that's why I wrote that. But this isn't, if they're going to choose data, if they're going to choose the outcome, wouldn't it be something positive, like women ought to this, women ought to that, and instead of deriving the conclusions, which is we got to hit the gym more, you got to make money, it would excuse laziness and sloth, not demand hard work and sacrifice. He could have just gotten the bad part of the red pill. He could have ran into some people who I don't think are the mainstay of the red pill. But I don't, aside from those virgin tells and all that, who use it as an excuse, that is not what I have seen. It is a very adult, empirical approach because men want to get the girls.
The red pill belief that women are inherently selfish and that they're going to give into their biological desires is called egocentric solipsism. I know it's a big name, but I did an interview with Dr. David Tian, and he talked about it pretty clearly. Dr. Tian is a director of Aura Transformation, a world-renowned specialist in human behavior.
Okay, this guy's a world-renowned dating coach who got no traction. I don't know who this guy is. He's not world-renowned, and I don't believe in psychology. I really don't. I don't believe it's a legitimate or valid field. There is a thing called solipsism. I think everybody is guilty of it to a certain extent, but that means only you can possibly exist. Nothing else in the world around your interpretation of the world is all that matters. On a philosophical level, that is true. But you can't deny it that most people are solipsistic to some level. And when you date girls like, oh, only I exist, only I matter, most women may not actually consciously believe that, but when you look at the behavior, again, you stood up 70% of the time, that's lying and being hypocritical and being dishonest and not honoring your word, but that's not considering that is solipsistic. That's real. And men are suffering of that too, but so far, I went and I talked to a therapist. I'm sorry, don't believe in therapists. I really don't. When there's less mental illness as opposed to more, and trust me, I did the data and the research on it, things have only gotten worse as therapists have increased, then I'll believe you actually know what you guys are doing when there's less mental disease than there is more. But right now, I think it's a bunch of hokum.
Behavior, emotional and social intelligence, philosophical psychology, Asian religious philosophy, masculinity, relationships, a researcher, author, and global educator. As an international top personal development coach, he educates and empowers people to attain social...
Educates and empowers. Okay, you want to talk about Orwellian words. All right.
Social intelligence, competence, and confidence for success and happiness, dating, relationships, and their lifestyles. He has helped thousands of men across over 87 countries with these issues.
I doubt
the full interview with Dr. Tian will be in my course, Effortless Attraction. If you want a chance to get into the course, set up a call with me, I'll talk to you, and if you're a good fit for the course, then it'll work out. When I was speaking with Dr. Tian, he basically talked about this hypocrisy with women and the red pill.
Women have an inborn ability to switch off their emotions for you in favor of a hotter guy. Like attracts like. Broken guys attract, broken women. And it's so easy if you were to just switch this, and this is something that white knights will understand if you just think about it like the way I'm going to point it out now. Men, there are plenty of men, not all men, not you. I'm not talking about you as a man, whoever's watching this, but men, have an inborn ability to also switch off their emotions when there's a hotter girl that walks by. That women, some bitter women, as Steve was pointing out, there are women who have the red pill, like red pill women. And they've been red pilling much longer than men have in this sense. Also say all men are ... They just switch off.
Okay, I'm still waiting for that nuclear bomb to hit.
Their emotions, they have no empathy. This is just sociopathic, and there are people like that. And then, this trying to base it in this historical argument of consider the emotional investment of what.
Okay, just so you know, you're never going to hear the downbeat boom, 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 boom. I'm just not going to do that.
Woman needs to put into mothering a child who could be taken away at any moment. 100,000 years ago, anybody you loved could have been taken away at any moment. A million years ago, it was just as tenuous of a life.
Why do you keep looking at your notes?
So it's just these just so stories, as Stephen Jay Gould would call them, just so stories with no scientific evidence, are the sort of things that white knights are looking for to back up their wounded emotions.
And
that I'll agree with. There are some men that do that. Again, not the majority of people I've experienced in the red pill. At the same time, if you got divorced or you had a horrible experience, you will want to go and find out why, and it's up to you, being a strong man and a real red pill individual, adhering to empiricism and truth, say, what did I do to fuck up? That's what I have seen being advocated within red pill philosophy, not the, oh yeah, bitches is all your fault and this and that. It's like, no, what have you done? There is an agency taught within the red pill community of ownership. What did you do? What's wrong with you? I think he probably, whoever they ran into, has skewed their perception of the red pill. Because what they're saying isn't necessarily wrong. It's kind of all over the place. I wish they'd get to it, but I'm not seeing anything that is accurate of the red pill, or anything that really has debunked it. And I'll admit this. I'll tell them, oh yeah, dude, there's totally a bunch of posers. There absolutely is. Like when I go out and meet friends and all that, and like I'll have a meetup, and rarely I do. For every cool guy, there is someone abusing it. I will agree with him on that. There's somebody using that as either an excuse for the piss poor performance and the lack of trying, or they're using it as an excuse to try and put the effort and quote unquote Rich Cooper do the work. This is why I stopped doing the video, how do I get the girls? Because invariably it was some weak-ass pansy who didn't want to hit the gym, become what women wanted, and put in the work. And they were thinking it's some kind of formula, because then if they could just figure out the formula, and they wear the hat this way, but flippity-flop has you have you zipped up that way, oh, bad move, bro. You step with your right foot instead of your left, showing overtly domination with the right foot. Oh, right foot, 101 basic bitch move, man. No. They're looking for a script because they're weak men. Because and I can see that. There are men out there. I don't have the patience for them. But what your main, I don't want to call them professors, but your acolytes, your prophets, your speakers. Hang on, I got tightened up muscle here. Ouch, hurts. Those guys don't. They say, yeah, you got to diet. You got to work out. You gotta make decent money. You gotta be charming. It's all investment. It's all work.
Looking at the evidence or the scientific data about hypergamy and how it exists, most of the studies take online dating.
Okay.
And if you look at the psychometric properties or the people that are dating on these apps, the women, they tend to be lower on self-esteem. It's just the case. I mean, I've interviewed plenty of women who never really take the dating app seriously. They actually never match. And the ones that do, they feel like they have to go on these dating apps, right? Because they have a lower sense of self-worth. So essentially what this means is called sampling error. Thank you, Dr. Minden, for grad school, for teaching this. Sampling error basically means that when you take a sample population for the study, and you take the conclusions of that sample population study, and you erroneously or falsely believe that the whole entire population, all of humankind, or all of the Western culture, has the same attitudes and behaviors that you took from that original conclusion. And you see, dating apps are not representative of the actual population. And there are bigger census bureaus that have taken the type of sex and the amount of sex from the wider population, and it shows it's actually a pretty even curve, that men are having sex far more than women and more on average. That hypergamy and this 80-20 rule doesn't hold up when actually a larger...
The data he just showed didn't disprove it either. And I want to know the source of that. I'm more than willing to listen to it, more than willing to read, but that wasn't, hang on, let me go back. There was a bunch of charts he threw
are not
here.
representative of the actual population. And there are bigger census bureaus.
Okay, there's that 80-20 chart, remember that. Here's this, messages sent, replies received, New York, Chicago, Seattle. One scholarly paper that studied online dating behavior. Well, wait, we're using online dating to disprove online dating? Symmetrical behavior for men and women. Probability, hang on. Okay, there we go. Desirability gap. Messages sent, probability. Okay, I'd have to, beyond this, I'll have to go, I'll probably go take a look at it.
And the type of sex and the amount of sex from the wider population, and it shows it's actually a pretty even
Wow, that's how few people are having sex? Jesus.
curve. That men are having sex far more than women.
It's not
and
what the
more on
charts
average.
show.
That hypergamy and this 80-20 rule doesn't hold up when actually a larger population sample size is taken.
But if they pulled it from... Never mind. I'll look at it.
I know you got him. I know you got him picked, but the man's in
Overt
trouble.
narcissist.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
An article written by Preston Nee talks about covert or compensatory narcissism, which, unfortunately, a lot of people in the red pill meet all 7 criteria for.
Oh. I'm sure some do. But it's psychology. I don't know. It has the 7 lists. So I finally figured out business was bullshit is when I had all these lists. Oh, there's 7 different threats to your marketing strategy. It's like, that's...
Number 1, a quiet smugness or superiority. You can clearly see in comments or in threads that whenever someone in the red pill talks about someone who's mainstream or hasn't taken the red pill yet, there's a sense of superiority of, look, I know the truth and you don't know anything, right? You're a beta, you're a cuck, that you don't know the truth of human behavior.
He's right on some of those virgin towels.
That superiority sense of like, I know and you don't.
Okay,
So
what's
that's an
number
person
2?
or situation, find it uninteresting, flawed, unworthy of their attention, and mentally tune or block you out. While most mature adults are capable of recognizing nuances of issues and giving people the benefit of the doubt, introverted narcissists tend to focus only on what selfishly they want and find agreeable. All else is labeled boring and stupid. Number 3, there's a lack of empathy.
Like empathy.
Look, most people in the red pill, their sample size themselves for the woman in their life, a woman that they met, is maybe the first girlfriend they've met and broke.
Okay, which would explain what he's seeing versus what I'm seeing. If this is like guys, if he's been interviewing them and he's pulling his data from guys in the red pill who've only had one girl, yeah, I could see why. All right, but maybe he should talk to some guys who are older, been married, not been married, but certainly dated more. But yeah, if he's pulling from the virgin towel group, yeah, I could see where he has this opinion.
Their heart, or their 20 years from high school that broke them up and screwed them over. But having worked with hundreds of women and have women as friends and dating multiple women over the years, I have a pretty clear sense of what actually drives female behavior, having been exposed to all of this. And I would urge you to develop some sense of empathy for yourself. Get a female friend. Get a friend that's a girl. You don't have to be attracted to her, so there's not that awkwardness.
Yeah, see, if he's talking about people who don't have female friends, look, you got a female friend at least, have a potential love interest there. If he's talking to people who don't have female friends, this is squarely in that virgin towel group. I don't know. Talk about selection bias.
Open up to it. See how it actually feels. See her complain about men and see what the problem actually is, what she really truly wants out of a guy. There's a lack of truly empathy and experience.
We got the gangster slow-mo music going boom, boom, boom. Then you know it's good.
Experience with women in the red pill. They're just looking at studies and saying that this is how it is. And they're conferring with everyone else's reality who also have a lack of experience and empathy themselves.
So in case you're not clear on what a white knight actually is, this rational male is a great depiction and demonstration of what a white knight actually is. This is what like an advanced white knight who's been white knighting for decades.
What rational? Rollo he was a rock musician. He got tons of pussy thrown at him. He's been successfully and happily married for decades. I kind of find it funny they're going to pick on Rollo, but okay.
Would say. So on page 135, he says, hypergamy doesn't care how you rearrange your college majors and career choice in life to better accommodate her. Oh my God. Hypergamy doesn't care how inspired or fulfilled you feel as a stay-at-home dad. Hypergamy doesn't care that you moved across 4 states to accommodate your long-distance relationship. Hypergamy doesn't care how supportive you've always been of her decisions or if you identify as a male feminist. Hypergamy doesn't care about your divine and forgiving nature and excusing her youthful indiscretion. So like, this is like saying, I'm a good person. Why aren't you good to me? I'm a damn good. So like all of moral philosophy would say, if that's your view, and that's why your motivation for being good, you're not actually good. You're just fake good.
Covert narcissists tend to be
Oh,
exquisitely
great. There's a bit of Machiavellianism.
affected by any signs of real or perceived slights and handle criticism poorly. In the face of negative feedback, some introverted narcissists
All right.
will defend with an increased sense.
This is wrong. Dude, you, again, if he's in the, I'm wondering if he went to like a chat room or something where you had the incel community and these virgin towels hanging out. Because if you get to the red pill, it is critical, constructive criticism. It is harsh, and it is, I don't think anyone takes a real offense or umbrage because we're always busting each other's balls. I mean, again, ask your female friend there, asshole consulting, we're not lying to people here. We're very harsh, very true. What he is describing, I want to see who and where he went. That is this subsegment of that virgin towel community, where you can't give people criticism and they get offended. Heck, the backlash I got for saying, "Hey, you guys are just cowards and you're not hitting the gym," that was huge. Oh God, you're never going to sell another book in your life. And I'm like, yeah, well, yeah, I will. So maybe that's just what it is.
Superiority, smugness, dismissal, while others will respond with withdrawal. Typically, they will not let on how much the negative experience bothers them, and instead use well-rehearsed aloofness.
And that's another thing, the negative experience. I really don't think he understands that it's not a negative experience in most guys. It's been negative experiences, the vast majority of them, which were negative. I talked about it before. You can read it in Bachelor Pad Economics. I dated over 300 girls through the benefit of being a ballroom dance instructor, no less, and less than 1% of them were marriage material. And even of those 3 girls, there are other things that just, nothing wrong with them, but one wanted 4 kids. Oh, another one wanted a kid. I didn't want to have kids. So admittedly, I'm in the statistical oddity there. But if his data is being pulled from people who are, say, under 20, had a bad experience when they were younger, never dated women, and it was the girl, yes, he's right about everything that he's saying. But that is not the majority of red pill people. That is not.
To continue their schema. Another sign is the misunderstood special person. The self-perceptions of introverted narcissists include notions that I'm special, I'm above a kind, I'm ahead of my time, I'm so unique, no one understands me, I'm so smart, I'm above everyone else. And of course, this should go without saying, one of the last signs is difficulty with relationships and connecting. If you want to check out the rest of the signs, the link will be in the article down below. Look, all of this sense of narcissism and grandiosity, covertly, is best summed up in a book by famous psychoanalyst Alice Miller in her book, The Drama of the Gifted Child.
Okay, famous. The Drama of the Gifted Child. The Drama of the Gifted. This woman might actually be famous. Gifted Child. The Drama of the Gifted Child. 449. Okay, so this young lady, I don't know, maybe old lady. This gal has a reputation in poll. Oh wow, look at that. 4,600 ranked. That's good. When did that book come out? 1997. It's still selling that good. Oh, God bless you, lady. Making her cash.
And she says, the grandiose person seeks insatiability for admiration, which he never gets enough of because admiration is not the same thing as love. It is only a substitute for the primary needs for respect, understanding, and to being taken seriously. Needs unconscious from early childhood. Often, a whole life is devoted to the substitute and is not fully felt. The struggle for the symbol of love will continue. There's a perfect analogy or metaphor for someone who's a...
That's not I gotta have to read through that 18 times. Oh.
Compensatory narcissist or someone in the red pill.
Okay, there. Compensatory I get that. That makes sense. All right.
That may make sense to you. That really will suss out exactly what's going on here. That metaphor is someone who is walking on stilts. If someone was walking on stilts, would they not be envious of the people that are able to walk on their legs alone, even if they seem above?
Dude, you didn't pay me enough to watch this. This is like listening to a business professor talk about general management. This is really, like, painful. It's like you can't hug somebody with nuclear arms. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Oh, God. I mean, he's right. I just wish he could have nailed this down in about 10 minutes.
Those people, and those people seem ordinary. Are you not bound to carry pent-up rage toward people?
He actually has people on stilts.
Walking so effortlessly because somehow they have made you afraid to walk without them. They do not have to do something to impress one way or another and are free to be average. And so you call them cucks, betas, and simps because deep down, they don't need something extra. They can go toward love without fear and feeling superior.
Holy shit, dude. I don't think he's faking it. I think he really is taking this, he's going to try and understand psychology and the female mind and everything and go through this esoteric stuff. And maybe another reason there's a divergence between what he's advocating or why he doesn't like the red pill, or aside from bias, is men as a group, again, painting with a big brush here, we need practical information. We need to make assumptions. We need a model to operate by, a structure, so that then okay, X, Y, and Z, okay, then we conclude A, B, and C. All right, let's go. This does remind me a lot of pickup artist stuff where I had a roommate one time. He went out to LA and he came back with a binder this thick. This was back in the 90s on how to date girls. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, what could, it's like a business, an MBA class, like business management. Business management does not take a book this big. It's taking common, simple sense things and extrapolating and embellishing and building them up and flowery word. Just like, dude, this could be a 2-page pamphlet cut down into 14 steps I gotta know, or 14 general rules I gotta operate by. And now he's lost me. I don't know. I've lost the analogy between people walking on stilts and love and childhood. I've just completely. I don't have the CPU processing to handle all that in one. Just give me 2 or 3 variables to work with. I've lost the point.
I hope you're starting to see the truth of the matter at hand.
I'm more confused.
Dr. Bruce Lipton wrote The Biology of Belief, and he talked about how trauma creates a worldview and literally changes our neurons in our brain. And that our brain is the ultimate survival mechanism.
Okay.
Right? We go into an environment and it says, what do I need to do to survive? Where are the threats and where are the things that will give
We'll do a SWOT analysis. It's just like an MBA class.
me value for survival? And part of the threat is becoming isolated from yourself or having your heart broken. They're one and the same. And potential value is going toward a girl for procreation, having worked with plenty of people just like you who had this original source of pain. And knowing that whenever pain occurs, from my own experience, that when I've been heartbroken, that you want to close yourself off to opening up.
Okay, maybe that happened to him. Okay, I'm trying to interpret this into English. There are a group of guys that got hurt. And then they unfairly judge women, all women like that, and then they protect themselves. That absolutely happens. Again, not in the red pill community I'm at. Now, at the same time, there has been a lot of hurt and trauma. The vast majority of he's talking about his dating experience. All right, I'll stack mine up against. The vast majority, I wouldn't say it was traumatic. I mean, certainly there was traumatic bits and pieces here and there, but it was a royal pain in the ass. It was a waste of time. And basically on a self-respect aspect, not to mention men are investing so much time and effort into this, they don't want to piss away their time. And if I go back and I say, look, older guys come in and say, look, we wasted most of our time. We just pissed away most of our time. Don't piss away your time. You say, thank you. And here's what you do. You cut this out, you cut that out. You don't waste your time with this, you don't waste your time with that. You be very critical, be very truthful. And sometimes that's like, sorry, I'm not going to date a Marxist feminist. Because who hurt you? I mean, that's another common thing, who hurt you? As if, this is the kind of the same thing, who hurt you? It just dismisses the fact, well, it's not one person. It was a building up 1,000 cuts, 1 billion mosquitoes where it's like, I'm not doing this anymore. I think there's more veracity and validity in men's experiences, especially now. He's right. If you're the 17-year-old and fuck women and whores, I'm not going to do it. You don't have the experience. You didn't try. You're weak. All right. But when you're in your 30s, your late 20s, or you maybe even make it into your 40s, you get divorced. You have enough experience that it's not. Oh, that was bad luck, or that was It was not only bad luck and traumatic. It happened. And you actually are a fool for not incorporating that into your future strategies. The real question is up to the individual. I can't look into the hearts of every man. Is whether you're going to use that as a crutch and a shield to dismiss and forgive yourself and excuse yourself from trying and owing up to being a good man and working hard and blah, blah, blah. Or if you're going to take it as caution, say, okay, let's look out for that again, but we're not going to just give up on women altogether. This is just...
That you think the problem was that you weren't manly enough, that you were too weak, that you were a beta. When
usually that is the case. Have you seen millennials?
You had a lower sense of self-esteem, so you attracted a girl into your life that didn't treat you right. And just because no one else out there that you can see has this ideal love doesn't mean it doesn't exist, because you haven't had it.
Guys, just trust old Capmeister on this. Less than 1%, okay? This is the old, maybe you're just fishing in the wrong hole, or maybe you attract the wrong type of girl. I don't know about you. I went after any girl that was cute. That was it. That was the only requirement. That was it. Later on, you'd find out things. But it's your self-esteem and da-da-da. No. It was, we asked out any girl that was hot. It's probably the least selection bias. I know there's selection because they're hot and they're going to come with certain traits and personalities, but since you have to go with a girl that's at least you're physically attracted to. And that's it. There was no other selection bias. That, well, maybe you're insecure, maybe that spilled over. No, they were hot. Do you want to go out, yes or no?
Look, your brain is the ultimate fucking survival mechanism. Survival, not thrival. It doesn't care if you're happy. But I am telling you, there are beliefs within you that are false, that you've adopted to protect yourself, for protection. You live bitter, you live resentful, you live in fear, and you're not happy. You'll die sooner, you'll become depressed, you'll be another statistic, and I don't want that to fucking happen to you, because I care about you, even though I don't know who you are.
As long as
I cannot see your face. I have seen too many men close themselves off and become isolated because of this fear. I am telling you, there are women out there that you can heal that pain, that trauma, that insecurity, and you can honestly go toward love. And I'm not talking...
I have a simple question. Who caused the pain and the trauma? There is 100% validity to what he's saying, that it can be used as an excuse. Again, watch my video. But this is bigger than that. You can't have such uniformity and conformity across men's experiences. Like, I remember, I'll tell you this story again. Before your time, we would think there was something wrong with the girls in our school. Something's wrong with the girls in this school. I can't wait to move. And we would move. Oh my God, there's something wrong with the girls at this school. And what it was is you were the universal. But there was another thing, is that was girls across the country. Even though the internet didn't exist, there were nationwide forms of media that formed young women's opinions and thoughts and expectations of the internet. Cosmo, glamour, I'm sure movies and the same thing. Men were completely ignorant to these things. But the point was that we thought there was something wrong with our particular school. And then when you found out over the internet, you go to college, you compare and notice, like, wait a minute, this is nationwide, this is universal, right? This universality is not deniable. There's something fucked up and wrong. And if men are starting to come to this conclusion on their own, and now they're just rallying under this flag, yes, there's going to be some people rallying under it as a kind of the last refuge of a scoundrel is patriotism. I can see that happens. But there's also guys like, yeah, no, this kind of explains it. This explains it better than all that other be sensitive, be nice, be kind bullshit we got. So I don't think this is just, you can dismiss all of the red pill this way.
About fucking fake Disney bullshit. I'm talking about true unconditional love. The true love that a mother has for her son.
Is he married?
That a father has for their daughter. You can have that with a partner where they can fully accept you for the way you are. All your
Okay, I can't. Introducing a little bit of numerical realities. Is that why half the marriages ended divorce? Frankly, he's too young. You get me the old World War II vet that's celebrating his 70th wedding anniversary with his wife. Okay, then I'll believe him about longevity and loving something like. This guy is not even 30, I don't think. Not to insult people under 30, but yeah, I'm sorry, I just don't believe this. This sounds really nice.
Insecurities. Every part of you where you feel like you don't have to put on this facade of this guy who's like uber masculine. That, oh, this is what the girl wants. Trust me, she does want a masculine man, but she wants a man that can open up, be vulnerable, right? And not from a needy place of, oh, I'm sharing my vulnerability out of weakness. No, because you don't need something. You're opening up because it's hard to open up.
No wrong about that.
Right? It is masculine to express yourself, every feeling. It is not weakness.
No. No, boys, don't listen to that. No. And that has nothing to do with, you never share your problem. I mean, if you got a real problem or something, like, okay, share it. But because no one wants to solve your problems. You got to solve them yourself. He's well-intended. He's just got some wrong ingredients put into his souffle.
And if you sit there and hold on to these beliefs that somehow women are out to fucking get you, that women are out to screw you over, that they
see, that's not the red pill. It's not the women are consciously malicious or trying to screw you over. I'm pretty sure he went to a particular subsphere within the red pill community and got that. If anything, it's here's nature, here's how women are heavily influenced by nature to behave, but it's not like, women are out to get you. If anything, sadly, it's like there's this lack of agency where it's like, well, do they really, have they thought this through? Are they, because if they just do it, it almost seems they're on autopilot. Men do this too, so this is not a criticism of women, but you are heavily influenced by your genetics and your biological programming. But to do something malicious and evil and mean, you got to be bipolar. And then be smart enough to say you're bipolar when you're not, so you can throw your temper tantrums because you get off on that. That's rare. That's not common. Women don't consciously, maliciously do this. But now he's saying they do. Well, that's never been one of the. It's been these are unconscious but strong forces that push both men and women to act and behave a certain way. And now he's saying the red pill's been saying that women are out to get you and stab you. No. That's, again, that genuine, probably misogynist, hate-filled group within there.
They naturally are selfish because one woman in your life was, or two. I've had 3.
Ooh, 3? Look out! Dating coach, 3 girls in his life, all right.
That fucked me over. My first 3 girlfriends all cheated on me.
Now we have the sad music coming in. What?
And instead of looking at, all women are evil, which I could have easily done.
Right.
I sat there and I said, what was it about me? What was it about my beliefs that led to this? And it stopped. I work with plenty of married couples. They struggle, they fight, but they will never cheat. The woman will never cheat on the man. She loves him and she would do anything for him and he would do anything for her. And because of that, a true bond is created. That's meaning in life. You won't find happiness by yourself. True self-development comes when you can match and mesh with the feminine. It challenges you to become a better person. You stop growing by on your own.
And this is an immature masculine. So almost everything, this whole book is just reeking with the fear and insecurity and the pain, unfortunately, of the immature masculine, who's actually a little...
But Rollo's... They just criticized, this guy can't achieve anything. Rollo has been happily married for 20 years, 30 years, I think. How old is Rollo? There's too many, they don't even, never mind.
Boy who's hiding behind, actually probably a preteen, and then he's hiding another little boy who just wants love and connection and is hiding behind a shouting, railing, flailing.
He's obviously never watched Rollo then, because Rollo doesn't flail and, no.
Older boy. And Until you break past each of those barriers and heal and grow each of those layers, you're never going to actually find peace and contentment and happiness and fulfillment. And more importantly, what you're really looking for, guys, which is unconditional love. And you have to give that love to yourself first and discover.
I don't even know what what is, oh God. Another reason, okay, here's, had nothing to do with the request of you or your girlfriend there. Another reason guys are going to go with the red pill as opposed to these guys is because the red pill is you can understand it. I don't know what they're saying. Again, this is reading through a business management book this thick, and I got to remember all these rules and this. It's not logical. It doesn't make sense. The inner you and the super id and the ego trying to kill the boy hiding behind the other boy who's now hiding another boy in the basement but isn't Jeff Epstein. That Jeff Epstein boy needs to come through a metamorphosis to the, it's just like, oh God, Jesus Christ. Can you understand? Hit the gym, be yourself, kind of be cool and charismatic, stand up for yourself, and, tell the gal I'm going this way. Do you want to come with or not? I think that's a little bit, those are easier instructions to follow.
How to do that. And if you continue with this narrative of you're the victim, you have to be a certain way, take on a new identity as a alpha energy in order to get women to like you, because they're still giving too much of a fuck, right? Until you drop that whole agenda, you're never going to find that love.
When you look deep down at this pain, at this bitterness.
I have a question for the gal. How did you get anything from this? This could be knocked out in several bullet points for you. How did... out of curiosity, I really want to know, why did you settle on this video? There are some that are much more critical and to the point and maybe even more logical, that digestible. This one is just a mess.
The voice telling you that you're somehow not good enough. Because that is a false self.
One hand, he's saying there's a voice telling you you're not good enough. Another one, he's saying you're the narcissist walking on stilts. I don't know. This is why I don't like psychologists. They don't stand on anything. There's no ground.
That your true self is. You don't have to do anything extra or special. As these words would leave my mouth, I know a part of you knows the truth that's coming from it. Right? That I know there's probably someone in your life that fully accepts you for who you are.
My mom likes me.
All capacities.
No, she doesn't like What the hell? What? My aunt? Nah. My aunt's the best. Oh, I love my aunt. Look at you. What do you want, you fucking retard? My aunt is great. Oh, what fuckery are you up to now, you dipshit? This is such soy. I don't know. I have this visceral response, like this guy's eyes just makes me like, oh.
Man or woman, it is possible. And as cliche as it fucking sounds, you have to accept and love yourself first. That's the beginning. I'm willing to help you with that if you really want help. What I love about Red Pill and the guys in it is that they're seeking truth.
Okay, good.
But truth is very subjective in a lot of ways.
Sometimes it's not.
And truth is never fully had when it comes from a place of pain and negative emotion. I can lead you to the water.
Okay, maybe he's being a little bit more savvy than I thought. He probably identifies the most vulnerable group within the Red Pill are these perma-virgin, genuine misogynist, hate, enraged, angered type of guys. And he's decided to target them and completely disregard the other more established characters within the Red Pill community. And their more sage wisdom, their more mature advice that is not all about hating on the woman. But it's just, I don't know, like, you're hurt, you're this. It's like, no, a lot of these guys may have been hurt, but they've recovered. Or maybe they're just sick of it and they're throwing in the towel. I don't think there's all that much, well, if they're divorced, I guess there's some trauma, but I don't see a lot of these guys getting trapped. What I see is a lot of guys that went out there, gave it their all, had no success, and like, what the fuck? Most, I would say, are not married. Some of the older guys, of course, married and divorced, but I don't see as much of this pain. It's more of a you know, we're sitting there at the war room trying to invade Nazi Germany. How do we take out the Nazis? And I'm like, okay, how do we get the girls? I just don't. He has traveled in different paths with the red pill community than I have.
And say, look, I know you're thirsty. I know you need this water. And you're sitting there saying, no, I don't want it. I don't need it. Plenty of people go without water. And I've been poisoned when I drank the water the last time. Maybe the last 2 times. And I'm telling you, this water, I've tasted it. It's not poison. I know I've been poisoned too, and it sucks. You almost died. I get it. But I've tested this water. I've had plenty of other people drink it. They're all happy with it. They are thriving with it. I'm telling you, it is okay to drink that water. It is okay to open up. It is okay to change your beliefs. To change beliefs that aren't helping you. That there is a different truth. At the end of the day, I know this video, if it causes you a lot of hate or anger or resentment, that's fine.
Caused pain.
I'm not trying to change those people. But if this video touched you to the core, made you question your own beliefs and where you're going at all, there are more resources down below. Dr. Tien did an interview with Steve Mayeda about red pill as well. If there's more information, you can always reach out to me. I love you. I do. I truly do.
Yeah, guys, I don't love you. I want your fucking money. And I'll tell you the truth there. Really? Come on. To the guy who's the girl. This guy? You trust this guy? I love you. Dude, I don't know you. Oh, God. I think I'm going to jack up the prices for these painful videos you guys are sending me. I think you're just doing it to make me suffer. All right, there you go. I'm taxed. I'm exhausted. Hopefully you got something out of that. And I'm out of here. Links to everything down below. Best of luck to you and your girlfriend. Try that betting tactic. It's a fun way to prove women wrong. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right, we'll see you guys later. Toodles.